Hello class. Hey boys. How are you doing? Today we are going to talk about food, and specifically comfort food. We are also going to learn how to write a recipe today. So as a man, it's good to be able to cook for yourself, and it can be quite impressive if you can talk about cooking and how to make food. So let's learn about how to write a recipe today. We have a lot to cover, so let's get started. Let's go. In today's video, we will cover and talk about this lesson vocabulary. The vocabulary words we will learn today are comfort food, recipe, ingredients, preparation or prep, and directions. We will also learn and review lesson vocabulary groups. Like we will discuss the names of vegetables, the names of meat and seafood, common cooking verbs, and transition words. So, as you watch the video today, write these words and definitions in your notebook. Your notes will be helpful for the next class, so please write and follow along. So, in today's video, first we will talk about food vocabulary. Number 2, we will talk about cooking verbs. And number 3, we will learn some transition words and how to use them in a recipe. So before we can talk about how to write a recipe, I want to ask you, what is your comfort food? Is it bibimbap, kimchi, maybe dumplings? This is lamb. Last week, what food did you write about in Teacher Che's English class? What food did you write about last week? Can you remember? Do you remember your comfort food? Please write the name of the food in your notebook now. You can pause the video to write the name of your comfort food. Okay? So, to talk about comfort food today, we want to talk about how to write a recipe. What is a recipe exactly? A recipe is written cooking instructions. A recipe explains how to cook food. So yes, with a recipe, we will talk more about your favorite comfort food today. The first step of a recipe are the ingredients. So first, what are the ingredients of your comfort food? The ingredients are foods you need to make a recipe. Think of your comfort food. What ingredients do you need to make it? So what foods do you need to make your comfort food? Do you need produce like mushrooms or tomatoes? Or is your comfort food maybe a cake or cookie, and you need eggs or butter or sugar? So think of your comfort food. What ingredients do you need to make it? To help you think of ingredients, let's review some common food names. These are common vegetable names. Are you ready? Okay, repeat them after me. Cabbage, lettuce, onion, spinach, potato, broccoli, tomato, cucumber, eggplant, celery, asparagus, radish, pumpkin, pea, mushroom, carrot, beet, corn, cauliflower, red chili pepper, zucchini. Did I say green bean? Green bean. Bell pepper. Sweet potato. Chayote. So this vegetable I actually didn't know, but I looked it up and the internet says chayote. Chayote. Napa cabbage. Collard green. Collard green. Green onion. Red onion. Yellow squash. Parsnip. Parsnip. Yam. And then these last two, the purple one is called red cabbage. Red cabbage. And finally we have the leek. So these are some vegetables. Now let's talk about the good stuff. Let's talk about common names of meat, specifically beef and pork. So we have steak, ribs, pork belly, sausage, ham, bacon. We will skip these. This is duck and turkey. Good. Now let's talk about seafood. What do you see? Clam, crab, cuttlefish, cuttlefish, oyster, octopus, fish, lobster, mussel, scallop, squid, shrimp, snail. And finally, let's talk about chicken. These are the names of different parts of a chicken. These are called the breast, wings, thigh, drumstick. And when these two pieces are together, we usually call it the thigh or the leg. The leg or thigh of a chicken. Good. So now that we have reviewed some ingredient names, some food names, in your notebook, write the ingredients for your comfort food. Can you write a list of ingredients that you need? If you don't know the name of an ingredient, use the internet. You can find any food that you need on the internet. What is its English name? Or how do you spell the Korean using the English alphabet? So, take a moment, pause the video, and write the ingredients you can think of for your comfort food. Good. So one of my favorite foods is called peach foster. Peach foster. It is a dessert made from peaches, vanilla ice cream, and a caramel sauce. This is also called caramel sauce. Caramel and caramel. It is delicious, and it's one of my favorite desserts because I love peaches. So today, my comfort food, I will talk about peach foster. And here are the ingredients I need for it. I need 56 grams of butter, 110 grams of brown sugar, 3 grams of cinnamon, 29 milliliters of peach schnapps. This is an alcohol. 4 large ripe peaches, 60 milliliters of dark rum. This is also alcohol. And vanilla ice cream for serving. So this word serving we will talk about a little later. So now that you know the ingredients for your comfort food, this is step 1 of a recipe. Now let's talk about step 2, the preparation. The preparation or prep are the steps and actions before cooking the food. So before you cook the food, what steps do you need to take to prepare? So the prep is the steps or actions you must do before cooking the food. For example, some types of preparation might be cut onion, turn on oven, or wash vegetables. But before we can talk about preparation, we need to learn some cooking terms and some cooking verbs. So let's watch this short, 2-3 minute video with some really helpful cooking terms. We will learn these words. I will say the words as they come up on the screen. Preheat. Bake. Thaw. It is good to thaw meat under water for safety. Boil. Drain. Steam. Simmer. Grate. Peel. She is peeling an onion. Peel. I peel an onion for prep. Dice. Dice is small pieces. Chop. Chop is to cut food into small pieces, but I think chop is bigger than dice. Slice. Mince. Saute. Roast. Stir fry. stir fry. Okay, so those are just some common cooking verbs that we use when we are writing a recipe. Let's move on. So for my peach Foster recipe, this is what I need to prepare, or this is my preparation. Number 1, using a sharp knife, slice peaches into bite-sized small pieces. So this is my preparation. Now we can talk about directions. Directions. The directions are how to make and cook the food. Good directions are numbered, like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good directions also use transition and time words, like first, next, then, after, while, and immediately. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Good directions are numbered. So directions or a recipe might look like this, or like this, with step 1, 2, and 3. I want to show you some examples of transition words. The transition words are bolded. So for example, first, turn on the stove to medium heat. First is the transition word. Turn on is this action. It is turning on the fire, lighting the fire. Now, what is a stove? The top part is called the stove, where the fire is. Then, this area is called the oven. The oven is where you bake things. The stove is where you put fire underneath pots. And then medium heat is how high or big you want the fire. Here is another example. After the water boils, add the noodles. Then boil for 5 minutes. After and then are the transition words. Look at this word, add. To add is a verb, and it is a very common word in recipes. You will see add in many, many recipes. It simply means to include or incorporate. Like this, add the noodles to the water. Think about math and adding things together. Here are some other words you will commonly see in recipes. Mix, stir, toss, and combine. All of these words have a similar meaning. This is mix. This is stir. This is toss. And I would call this combining. But these words are very similar, so they can be used for each other. They are kind of synonyms. So mix, stir, toss, and combine. Here are some other words that are very common in recipes. Melt, pour, sprinkle. You can see the actions here. Melt butter on low heat. Pour the milk into the bowl. Sprinkle salt over the meat. So my directions to make peach Foster are here. Please notice how to write recipe steps. The general structure is transition word plus cooking verb plus ingredient. For example, next, add the pasta. Cooking verb. Also, another structure is cooking verb, ingredient, and time. Stir fry the vegetables on high heat. Stir fry the vegetables for 5 minutes on high heat. So, transition word plus cooking verb, add, plus the ingredient, pasta. Also, you see cooking verb, stir fry, ingredient, vegetables, and time for 5 minutes. Now, you will see more words than just these, but these are the general outline and the general structures of writing directions for a recipe. Let's read these together. Number 1, directions. First, melt the butter in a heavy skillet over medium heat. When the butter is mostly melted, add the sugar and cinnamon. Turn down the heat to low and stir until the sugar is dissolved, about 4 minutes. Next, add the peach schnapps. Be careful, it will splatter, and the peaches. Turn up the heat so the mixture is simmering. Cook until peaches are soft and slightly caramelized, about 3 minutes. Then add the rum. Continue to cook the sauce until the rum is hot. Carefully ignite the rum with a long match. After the flames extinguish, stir the sauce to evaporate the alcohol. Number 5, don't forget to let it cool for 5 minutes. 6, serve the cooked peaches with ice cream. Drizzle the top with caramel sauce from the pan. And finally, enjoy. So let's look at number 1. It's following this sentence structure. First, a transition word, first. Then the cooking verb, melt. Then the ingredient, butter. Now we needed to say more, in a heavy skillet over medium heat, but it's still using this general structure, transition word, cooking verb, ingredient. Then, look at number, look at number 2. Cooking verb, ingredient, time. Cook until, so cook, the cooking verb, until peaches, the ingredient, are soft and slightly caramelized, about 3 to 5 minutes. And there's the time. So if you follow these 2 sentence structures, I think you can write a really good recipe. And finally, the final step. These are words you will often see at the very end of a recipe. They are serve, plate, and garnish. These also have very similar meanings, and they will be the last step to a recipe. So, let's do garnish first. This picture is a picture of garnishing. They are garnishing the rice with green onions. It means to sprinkle or put on top. I would also say they garnished the soup with avocado. But this says serve. So serve can have 2 meanings. Serve means to put on a plate and make it look nice, to put on a plate and serve it, give it to your guest or the person going to eat the meal, And serve can also be as a way to describe food you should put together. So serve your soup with sliced avocado. It's like serve your food with this other thing on top. It's like pair them together. And finally, plate. Plate is the cookware, right? The white round thing. But plate is also a verb, and plate can also mean to put on a dish and to make it look nice. Here, this person is plating the ice cream. This person is plating the chicken. So again, these are words you will see in the final step of a recipe, and they also have similar meanings. Great! So we covered a lot today. Now, I think you can write a recipe. But maybe it still feels a little difficult? Well, I have a very helpful source for you. If you feel like, help! There is this YouTube chef named Manchi, and she has great examples of Korean recipes in English. You can go to this website, maangchi.com. She's Korean, and she is a very famous Korean YouTuber chef. She has hundreds, if not thousands, of videos. You can search her website for your comfort food recipe. Also, watch her YouTube channel to see her talk about how to cook Korean food in English. For example, if you love this food, on her website she has the recipe written in English you can look at. Also, on her YouTube channel, you can hear her talk about Korean food in English. Okay, let's use what we learned today to talk about food, to make food, and to, of course, eat food. For homework this week, it is self-study, but I highly recommend, I want you to take these notes because we will continue to write a recipe next class. So for homework, please, number 1, study and remember the vocabulary words and vocabulary groups from the video. Number 2, write the name of your comfort food and the ingredients to make it. Number 3, bring your notes from this video to class next week. Can you remember to do these things? Okay, good. Thank you so much for watching today. I know it was a long video, but we learned a lot in today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to review the vocabulary. I will see you later. Boys, thank you for your hard work and attention. Keep it up. Okay, thanks a lot. I'll see you next time. Bye.